Hey up, time to take another look at a cannibal film. This time we're looking at Cannibal Terror. Now this is a French cannibal exploitation film from 1980, directed by Alain Deruelle. I'm probably butchering that name. Doesn't look like he did much else by way of directing. The film is co-written by an uncredited Jess Franco. We really can't seem to get away from him, can we? And it was made alongside Franco's film Cannibals, sort of towards the back end of the cannibal film boom. And both films share sets, locations, props, and even actors. Sabrina Ciani shows up in both, and the people who play the cannibal tribe are pretty much identical between the two films. So if you haven't seen my review of Franco's film Cannibals, I'd probably recommend checking that one out before we crack on with this, because I am going to be referring back to that film a fair bit. I didn't like Cannibals. Let's see if this is any better, shall we?
What's your name? Florence Deauville. Deauville, like the cars. My daddy builds them. What's your name? Me? Nina. Oh, that's pretty. Bye.
Expect us to grab a kid? I thought you hated kids. Maybe you want to get your flippity-floppity boobies lifted. But you gotta have.
The plot follows two criminals and their lady friend. They decide to kidnap the daughter of some rich dude, and after successfully kidnapping her, they decide to flee to the jungle to hide out. What proceeds then is a rape, killings, and a cannibal tribe taking care of the bad guys. This film falls into the exact same trappings of pretty much every cash grab low budget cannibal film. It's got long scenes that are really boring of people just walking through a jungle. It has just tribes doing their thing, dancing around, doesn't really add anything to the plot. And then it has people getting fired at with arrows and eventually being kidnapped by the tribe. It is boring, predictable and formulaic. It did nothing new for me.
Hey, what's that over there? No, it's just a bird.
What a cunt!
Keep your cool, don't get upset.
The acting and dubbing are by no means good in this, but they are slightly better than the more recent Franco films that we've been watching. There's no weird accents, which is a positive. There is a woman voicing a little girl though, which is pretty much about as comical as this all gets. We get some gore, and it's not too bad. We actually get to see it this time, but it's not as good. I've seen better examples in other films of the same sort of thing, really. We also get some nudity, and there is a rape scene, just to add to the sleazy factor of it all. It's a really awkward rape scene as well. The woman's sort of like tied up between two trees while stood up. Just seems really impractical. I absolutely hated the music in this as well. For most of it, it's like happy Caribbean holiday music. Really didn't fit with the film. And the rest of it's just sort of standardly made. There's nothing really more to say. You can tell that it was shot alongside Franco's film. The same sets really stand out. And I was playing a bit of a game where I was trying to spot cannibals that I recognised from Franco's film. At least they weren't talking English in this one though.
Hey, he's here! Carlo! Shit. Tonight. Of course we're going to the ferry, darling. I wouldn't miss it. That's fine. You coming back this way? Fine. All right, my love, I'll pick you up.
So a little more on this being shot alongside Franco's Cannibals. Apparently it was same day sort of stuff where the directors would take it in turns, shooting They sort of get all the cannibals together in their little like set, and Franco would rock up in the morning, do his bits, and then Deruelle will tap in the afternoon and get the scenes he needs. Deruelle as well apparently was quite into the idea of making a cannibal film, started researching it and he wanted to make it quite authentic, but he quickly gave up on that idea when he realised how small a budget he was being granted. And this budget issue ended up being a massive point of contention for the rest of the filming. Deruelle was pretty embarrassed apparently by the film. It was laughed at quite heavily at Cannes in 1980 when it was shown, and he said to this day that he has never actually watched the entire thing through. Now, this film was added to the UK's Video Nasty ban list because it had the title Cannibal in the film. It was being compared to Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox and things like that, until someone from the BBFC actually sat down and watched it, and then the ban was quickly lifted and it was unbanned in 1985.
It's the Indians, Roberto! Michael's been hit!
Leave him!
Michael!
Okay, let's have a look at this print then. It's not bad at all, to be honest. I cannot complain. It's a clear picture. The sound's pretty good. For a budget release DVD, I've seen a hell of a lot worse. And on the disc, we have chapter select, we have an image gallery which shows older like VHS release covers for the film, and then we have some more Hard Gore trailers. That's your lot. Pretty bare bones on the disc. Okay, case time, and it's fine for the most part. The synopsis is very matter of fact, and it kind of says the entire plot. I guess they didn't really know what to say and what not to say about this, really. It's got some ridiculous taglines on the front as well. Gut-munching gore hounds, and a juicy video nasty. Very silly. Something worth mentioning is that this has a different type of Hard Gore logo on the front. It's got a much bigger head and bigger font. I have a few like this, and I think that these were an earlier iteration of the Hard Gore branding. Lastly, as well, when I started this DVD, the Screen Entertainment logo played with the menu music in the background, which, to be honest, was a little bit jarring. Overall then, while I may have preferred this over Franco's Cannibals, I still didn't really like this film much at all. The gore was there, but the pacing was all off and it was just repetitive and falls into a lot of the same tropes you see in this sort of film. It had cheap cash grab written all over it. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend this film. Now, if you are in the market for it though, this is a pretty cheap option and it's decent. The picture's fine, quality's alright, nothing really by way of special features, but if you just want the base film for cheap, this is probably your way forward. But for you boutique Blu-ray heads out there, 88 Films have got you covered with a decent-ish looking Blu-ray that doesn't go for too much money. It's more than I'd spend on this film, but it's not too bad and it seems like it's readily available. So, another not great one this episode, but we are out of this awful Jess Franco hole that we've been stuck in for the past month. And we're moving back into something a little more classy, a little more Italian, a little more cult, and a film that I remember vividly buying as a teenager from Poundland. We're going to be checking out Cat in the Brain.